All right, we're now joined in the interview room for Sunday's pole sitter, driver the number 9 Budweiser Ford, Kasey Kahne. Kasey, tell us about your run.
Well, it was a good run. I came coming to the green. I felt like I overshot 11 a little bit. So when I got back there, I ran the whole lap and was as aggressive as I could be, sliding the car a little bit, but was really comfortable and under control. And then when I got back to 11, I lifted a little early and didn't run through that corner as hard as I probably should have, and probably gave up a couple tenths to Jimmy. So I was happy with the run. I'm glad we still got the pole, but I need to keep working on some corners out there for sure.
We'll go ahead and open it up to questions from media. Again, as a courtesy, please state your name and affiliation. We'll start with Steve and come up to Tom.
Steve Richards with PRN. Kasey, could you talk about the feel, the balance of this race car compared with your car last year, and is this car a winning race car, top 5? How would you characterize it?
Well, today I felt like it was. I mean, in practice first thing, we were in race trim, and I think we were second or third, right in there. We switched over to qualifying, and we were right there in the top 5 also. So it's a great car. It's the same car we ran here last year, and minus the engine. We have a new Ford in there, or a Ford engine, which runs really well. And I'm looking forward to how that runs throughout the race, how the car handles throughout the race. Something tomorrow's a huge part of the weekend, getting the balance right and having the forward drive and being able to turn and hit the corners like we want to.
Tom Zaleski, the Spectrum of St. George, Utah. Hi, Kasey. The you've had 2 poles now here, and you're going for 2 wins here in the last 3 years. After a road course history that, in a word, wasn't pretty. What's gotten into you?
I think just experience. I think you get better as a driver on these types of tracks. You learn the cars better. You learn the course better, and just having better race cars too. I think the speed of the car's been, the last couple of years, has been better than anything I've had in the past.
You had that wheel hop up through 4 in your turn 4 up at the top of the hill in your run. Did that throw you off a little bit at all?
I didn't have any wheel hops on my run. I might have jumped a curb, but I didn't.
You jumped a curb. You did jump a curb. Yes.
Yeah, jump a curb and wheel hop's big difference.
My bad.
Actually, I jumped the curb and may have been a little too aggressive through there, but I didn't slow up. I didn't lift off the throttle and came out of it without hitting that wall. So it seemed to be all right.
Any additional questions? Here's a mic right there.
Tom Fitzgerald, San Francisco Chronicle. Kasey, in the last several years, there's been very little correlation between winning the pole here and actually winning the race. How much does this help you? I mean, what do you feel does it going into the Sunday? How much is it going to help you?
Well, I think the confidence of the team and myself, and just having a great starting spot on Sunday is always nice. And then the strategy that you play here with fuel mileage and tires, and kind of when you pit, is always a big factor in this race, and how well you finish in this race. There's a lot that goes on. There'll be a lot that goes on Sunday afternoon with probably the final 20 laps. With the double foul restarts, we saw that last year, and hopefully at that point in the race we're up towards the front, because it gets pretty crazy about 2-3 rows on back. It's wild up through there from probably turn 4 to turn 7.
Follow up.
Knowing that there are multiple attempts for a green-white checkered this year, how will that play into your figuring out the fuel mileage, or will the calculator even matter?
It'll definitely be a factor there. I mean, that's a big, a good point, and it's going to be a big factor at the end of the race. If we've had a lot this year, and this place could easily give us 2 or 3 late in the race, so you're going to need to, figure that in. Hopefully, at that point in the race, hopefully nobody runs out of gas. I mean, that's what, you want to just race. You want to finish the right way. But fuel mileage is part of race and part of everything.
Are there any questions upstairs?
Yes, Louis Frank, ESPN, the magazine. Kasey, you did appear, you had at least 2 wheels off the ground. I was wondering if you had 4 wheels off the ground, and what do you do at that point?
Well, I think I know I had at least 2, maybe 3. I'm not sure. Felt like my left rear was still on the ground, so that was good. At least I had one of the 3 or one of the 4. You just stay in the gas, I guess. That's all you can do. Once you get to that point, my car was going pretty straight, so I just kind of stayed in, and they're heavy cars, so they come down quick. I guess.
Eric Branch with the Santa Rosa Press Democrat. I assume, based on last year's win, you came in, confident here. But I mean, after doing this today, I mean, are you kind of feeling like you're some road course wizard or something?
No, I don't, because I know what it felt like 2 years ago when I wasn't, running up front in the race, and when I wasn't, making passes. I was getting past and sliding around a lot more than I wanted to. Those are the kind of things you don't forget, and I remember that. And so, no, I don't think I'm any type of a wizard, anything at this type of a track. I need to keep working really hard to be perfect and to not make those mistakes, because the guys behind you capitalize and they take advantage really quick.
Steve.
Can you just talk about the most challenging parts of this course for you?
Well, I always think, getting into turn 11, there's a big dip in the track right as you hit your brakes. So if you try to go past that, you can wheel hop. If you try to lift early, you're fine, but you don't get to 11 fast enough, and they can take advantage of you on entry. So that's a pretty critical spot for me. But the whole course is, there's slippery spots, and the track, the way the banking falls off in certain areas, and you lose grip and go over a hill and lose grip where the car gets light. There's a lot of things that happen. So it's a tough course. It's a slippery, tough course.
Anything further for Kasey? Come up here.
Scott Rocks from KSVY Sonoma. 2 questions. One would be, how quickly did it take you to learn the downshifting on these road courses like that? Because we heard earlier today that it was critical in not using your clutch and knowing your machine in that part. And what's on your iPod?
Okay, let me think here. I was able to come out here and test in 2004, and I came with Bill Elliott, who was a big part of my first year coming into the Cup Series. He went with me everywhere when we tested and helped my career out a lot, helped my learning curve out a lot. So that was nice to have him. He'd stand in each corner and tell me where I was screwing up and help me with my downshifts. I've also spent some time with Boris Said, trying to learn from him at some of the tracks back in close to North Carolina, Virginia, and things on road racing and downshifting and all that. So I think I've learned a lot from those guys, and then just doing it yourself, running laps is a big part of it too. And my iPod I broke my iPod a couple of weeks ago, and I don't remember what I was listening to when I broke it. So I don't know what's on it exactly, or what I was listening to last. I like a lot of bands though.
All right. Anything further? Kasey, congratulations, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.